Continuing with our functions, we've got our jump right and our jump left. And if you recall in our case statement, we were looking for just simply jump in the air. And this brings us back to we're going to be doing again a conditional inside to check for it, depending on what direction we actually are facing. So our function jump right. This time what we're trying to do is what? We're trying to change the y velocity so that our object can actually move up into the air. So let's set our velocity.y to something a little different. And what is that different going to be? Well, we have a variable up here for our jump speed, and that way we have it passed out for the inspector. So let's just assign that to a jump speed. So go to our velocity.y equals jump speed. And with our jump speed, do we need to do anything to it? Nope, we can just hang on to it just like it is. And our next thing we want to look at inside of our jump right is going to be our animation that we play. What animation are we going to play? We'll do an anim play dot anim sprite. And inside of this one, we are looking to set up a couple of frames to use. So we're going to go with a 16 by 16. And then we're going to be going with a 0 and 2. Actually, we'll do a 7 and 8 as our position here. And we'll have one frame at 24 frames a second. There we go. That's going to set us up for our jump right direction. And then what do we want to set our is right to? We're going to set this one to is right equals, and we'll make this equal to true, because we are going in the right direction. And let's grab all that. And for our jump left, so if we're wanting to jump left, we still want to jump up into the air, but we want to change the is right to false, and we want to change the sprite to a different sprite on the sprite sheet. And this one's going to be at frame number 9. There we go. And we'll set this one to our false. And let's save. Let's test. Go back over, hit play. We've got no errors, so we're good. And jump. There we go. So he is set to jump. He does turn the other direction. So let's stop. Let's move him to the right. And let's jump in the air. Alright. And why does he jump in the air? Because we do need to actually use the other jump function. And to do that, we're just going to set up, just like before, if our conditional is right, then jump right. Else, we're going to jump left. Save that one out. Go back over. Let's hit play. So we've got our player moving left, and we want him jumping left. We want him moving right and jumping to the right. Move, stop, jump, move, stop. Let's turn him back to the left and stop him. And we've got our jump on the left from there. Okay, so far so good. The logic's in there. We're able to basically, just like with Mario, we were controlling him through button pushes. Well, we're controlling this character through our states that we set to move left, to move right, etc. Alright, that gets us with our jumping for the character. Now, the next thing that we could look at is actually killing off the character. How do we want him to actually die? And for that, we want to be able to go in and do what first? We want the velocity to be at 0. We just simply want the character to stop. So, velocity.x equals 0. And after that, we want to go in and do what? We want to wait for a certain amount of time, probably. Let's play out the animation, which is one option we can also set inside of our sprite sheet function, is actually setting a time for it to play out. But we'll set it up here and then consider our options later. So let's do an anim play dot anim sprite. And what are we playing out? We're playing out an animation. Is the animation exactly what's in the game? This one's a little bit different. He simply falls over. So 11, 16, and 24 will set us up for the sprite that we want to work with. And then we also want to destroy the game object that we're working on. We simply want to get rid of it, so we'll destroy this game object. Now, if we're to do this by itself, let's say we save this out, we go up here, we say, okay, we've got our character, and we're going to do enemy die. He's simply going to disappear. He disappears. Why? Because we haven't actually yielded. We're not waiting for anything to play through right in here. And this is where we could actually go through and change up our function, or we can just drop in a couple of yield statements. Yield, wait for seconds, and how long do we want to wait for? Probably not too long. This is a pretty short little animation, so we'll say somewhere in there. So once we hit him, we're going to wait for just a fraction of a second, and then once we actually play through the animation, then we'll kill him. We'll say about 0.3 seconds, somewhere in there. We'll give it a try and see what happens. Maybe even, let's go just a little longer just in case. So we'll save that one out and go back up here. Select on our little Goomba guy and die. Okay, so he goes a little bit too fast right in there. We're on the left-hand, right-hand side. We can change those variables up. We're getting the basic logic set in right now. And then we'll start working. Oh, actually we got on the jump left. No wonder we're still going a little bit too fast. Let's drop those in where they belong. Good, fun, simple errors. Let's try it one more time. Select on our little Goomba. And enemy die. Boop. There he goes. So this way, the character waits for just a second because we are hitting on top of the character, and then we're playing through the animation, and then we're destroying the object. Because we are going to be working with the object and we don't have to constantly select the object, I'm going to go ahead and comment out the destroy on this section. So we'll go in, we'll drop that in for the left, and the left is going to have a different frame, and the frame for the die left is going to be, let's say at 16, 0, and we'll go 10. Alright, so if we go in here, we hit play again. Let's test it out, make sure it functions like it's supposed to. There he goes. Let's say we are moving to the right, and he goes the other direction. And again, why does that happen? We've got to go back up into our case statement. We need to make sure that we're checking for left and right of the player. So let's go in, and we're doing this for our die right. We'll say if is right, then let's have him die to the right. Else, what do we want to do? We want to die left. And let's make sure we spell this right. There we go. So we'll die left. Save that out. Test it out. Move left. Oh, dies to the right. Move right. Dies to the left. So double check what we've got in there. If is right, then if we've got if is right, die right, else die left. So let's go back down, double check what we have inside of here. We may have our frames turn left and right. And from the looks of it, we've just got our frames backwards. So let's just switch that from 10 and from 10 to 11. So just take a minute, and we're just switching up the direction of our sprite sheet to the right direction that we're facing inside of the game. Usually a common mistake that can happen, so make sure you're watching that, and if you do have some sort of error here, check to make sure you're facing the right direction, and if you are, probably it's just the sprite that's being called in the wrong direction. Okay, we save it. Let's go ahead and verify it, make sure that it works right. Enemy die, there we go. And let's go to the right, and enemy die. There we go, looking good. Okay, that's going to do it for the jump and the die for the player. And we'll continue on.